1, 2, 3.
Hello my beautiful people, and welcome back to Cooking with Fee, where we go from the closing table to the kitchen table / the kitchen island. I am so excited. We are on month 2 of Cooking with Fee. Can I hear consistency? That did rhyme. I didn't mean to do that on purpose, but it happened. Today we are making something that came from this beautiful handy dandy book, 365 Vegetarian College Cookbook. Period. If you watched the last episode, you would have saw that my mom gifted this book and 3 others to me for Cooking with Fee. So we are cooking our first recipe out of this book. Now, we are making smoked cheese, roasted pepper, and spinach quesadillas. Zoom in on that beautiful picture there. Yum. So that sounds like we're going to have a little prep here, and then we're going to be heading to the stove. So let's get started. Okay, cool. Firstly, we have to do some prep. Now, everything you see here we got from our local H-E-B. There was only one ingredient that I had to substitute because H-E-B didn't have it. That was rude and very annoying. But instead of a red pepper, you guys get a red pepper if you can get a red pepper. I couldn't get a red pepper, so I got a green pepper. So we have a green pepper. And we've got some scallions, also known as some type of onion. Oh, green onions, okay. So we got some scallions / green onions. If they are different, and Google in fact lied to me, get scallions, you need scallions. This says green onions. Google said they were the same thing, so I believe Google. So we got those. And you're also gonna need your smoked cheese for this. And also you're going to need your roasted red peppers. So go ahead and rinse off all of your veggies, and we'll be back. All right, our vegetables are washed off. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut 2 of these. We're gonna cut 3 of these, and we're gonna cut off these little butts right quick. So what we're gonna talk about today as we cut these up is not losing faith in this market, okay? One thing I think in this market that is very important for people to know, especially to sellers and even to some buyers, because the interest rates are kind of on the higher side, don't lose hope. Ooh, these are definitely onions, because my eyeballs, the ghetto. I did not know that was about to happen. Dear sellers, because we kind of talked to the buyers last week, in a buyer's market, you should mentally prepare yourself to give more than you think, okay? Gone are the days where sellers were like doing the bare minimum and selling their house for like $20K over asking price and having multiple offers and it's a cash offer. Gone are those days. Sadly, we are in a different market. We are in a buyer's market where people are stuck with high interest rates, and that is scaring a lot of people out of buying a house. So that means there are less buyers on the market. You have more competition. The more houses, the less buyers. Supply and demand. You know, that's where we're at right now. The demand being low and the supply being low, it's cutthroat out here right now. A couple of things, sellers, you should kind of mentally prepare for, at least in this market. Closing costs, technically you can help pay for it. So closing costs are due at closing. It has nothing to do with the buyer's down payment. This is an extra cost. It's negotiable. So you may be paying for closing costs. And again, that can be from $2,000 to $12,000. Anywhere within there. It's really whatever the buyer asks for in their offer for your home. And your agent, if you're not in Texas and your agent is not me, I wish you were in Texas. And if you are in Texas and your agent is still not me, what are we doing? In this scenario, you want to trust your agent because they know what's best. Now, if we are in a buyer's market, the best thing to do is negotiate, and that number is just probably going to come down some. In buyer's market, that's where negotiation comes in handy, at least on the selling side. I cut up the whole thing. I don't even know how I was supposed to cut up the whole thing, but we're cutting up the whole thing. Alrighty, so now we're going to just finish that up. Put them in a little jar and put it to the side. Now the next thing we are going to What is our cheese? We're cutting smoked cheese. Whatever cheese you see that says smoked, get it. There was only 2 options at the H-E-B, and one of them had bacon in it. And again, pescatarian, so couldn't do the bacon one, but just got literally the only other option that said smoked cheese. And we're gonna cut it into cubes, or your best cube that you can do. And now we're gonna put this in a jar too. But I'm gonna add that to a jar. Pretty good. Yeah. Put that to the side. And then we are going to take one of our roasted bell peppers, and we're gonna cut this because I have some cut up already, so we don't need all of that. I'm just going to cut this up. Technically, you're supposed to drain the juice. There's no point in draining the juice because I'm not using all of it. You're not. Alrighty, so our prep is all finished. We have our green chili in here with our scallops / green onions. Then we have our cubed smoked cheese in this one. And then we have our fire roasted red peppers in this one. All of them cut up nicely. And now we're gonna make our way over to the stove. Okay, cool beans, we're here at the stove. I did forget that I technically cheated a little bit with the recipe because I didn't cheat. I couldn't find cilantro that wasn't cut up, so we have some freshly chopped cilantro that we purchased instead of chopping up ourselves, but that is okay. So you will need cilantro as well. Now we are going to turn our stove onto low, right around that 5-3 mark, and then we're gonna open up our baby spinach. Sit this over here. Actually, let's wash it. All right, so we washed our baby spinach. This is heating up a little. We're gonna take our handy dandy avocado oil, put a little in the pan. Here we go. We're gonna sauce her up. All right, so we are going to take some salt and some pepper and our baby spinach. You're gonna take a handful, and I'm gonna just sit it in there. Actually, I may turn this on high. So we're going back to the book. I feel like I remembered what the book said, but just in case, we're going back. Okay, so we're doing this wrong. This is why you're supposed to read the instructions as you go. So it's okay, we can stay in this pan. We're gonna put it all the way to the high. So you're gonna take 2/3 of a cup of water and you're gonna pour it in here with your baby spinach. And we're gonna add some salt and some pepper in here. All right, so now we're mixing this together and we're just gonna let this do what it does. Make sure it's now on high, no longer at that low where we were before, because that was not right. So yeah, now we're gonna let this shrivel up. Our spinach is just about shrunk up, okay, and nice and cooked thoroughly. We're going to take this over to the sink, drain it, squeeze out the water, and we'll be right back. Now we're gonna put it in a little Tupperware. Now we use technically a lot of spinach, and look how much is in there. Barely nothing, but it's okay because we're only feeding 2. Now what we're gonna do, let me go back to my instructions. Drain, transfer into bowl with roasted. Okay, cool beans. I know what to do now. We don't need the book anymore. Cool tomatoes. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put this here. It still has the oil and stuff from before, but we're gonna add a little more oil. Take one of our tortillas and you're gonna sit it in there. It's on low heat. And then we're going to take our cheese, mix our square cheese in here, our scallions and our green chili, and then some of our red peppers. Mix all of that in. And our cilantro. Yeah, and you're just gonna add 2 pinches of that. This technically has like amounts you're supposed to put in, but I'm obviously not following that. Alright, now we're going to take some shredded cheese as well. We have the cube cheese as well as shredded sharp cheddar cheese. Put some of that in there. Great, we love that. And we're going to mix this up. And while we mix this up, word of the day is patience. Patience and God's timing. So, there is a scripture. I will put it on the screen because I do not remember exactly where it is in the Bible, but I know what it says. So there is a time and a season for everything. Patience is not so much about waiting itself, but it's how you wait. Patiently waiting is trusting that in the right timing, everything will happen. All right, so it's mixed up pretty well. You see that? Nice and good. Our cheese, everything, our spinach, nice and good in here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna scatter it all over the tortilla. So, but as I was saying, in your relationship with the Lord, it's how you wait, not so much of the waiting in general, because either way you're gonna wait. If the Lord wants you to wait, if He's working on your patience, you're gonna wait either way, sweetheart. It's just how you wait. Now, I don't really like how much of my ingredients are in here, so I'm just gonna add as I go. You see that on the tortilla it's looking a little scarce, and I am saying tortilla on purpose. I'm saying it incorrectly on purpose. Here, just gonna add a little more of everything, but the Lord is in control, and rushing Him is not going to do anything but have you worried. Rushing actually just brings on worry when you think about it. When you're rushing somewhere, you're worried because you're late. If you're late, that's a different issue to be addressed. And in your relationship with the Lord, there's no need to rush in general. There's no need to rush. There's no need for panic. There's no need for fear. The Lord has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. There is need for patience. Patience is one of the fruit of the Spirit. So we want to have patience. Patience, you can tell if you are a patient person in how you are waiting. Not for how long you waited, but how you waited. Okay? So, wait with peace. Be at peace when you're waiting. Stop trying to rush everything. And I'm talking to myself. In reality, I'm talking to myself right now. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to let that cook on medium. We're going to take another one of these and we're going to sit it on top. And we're just going to wait. I didn't even mean to do that. I didn't even mean to tie that in. We're just going to wait. And you don't know another thing? Another cool thing about waiting? Waiting doesn't feel cool all the time, but in cooking, if you try to put it on high because you don't want to wait for it to warm up on low, you're going to burn something. Take a plate. Let's not put that glass plate near the hot island. And stick this in there. Stick this there. Put this back. And now you're going to flip it with your hand. And I shouldn't have held it for that long. That was not a good decision. It's still hot. And now we're going to let the other side get all crispy too. Okay, so I feel like we're good. Thank God we're not on the high heat because I really would mess this up. And we're going to sit it on the plate. And I definitely see that's not supposed to happen. Alright. Back to the kitchen island. Huzzah! We are done. Now we just have to cut it into fours. I could have gotten smaller tortillas now that I think about it because it's pretty big, but Alright, got her in half. Now into fours. Okay. And then do a dollop for Daisy. And now for aesthetic purposes, we're gonna do like a it's supposed to look like the ice cream. Well, it doesn't, but that's okay. So Jasmine's gonna be the taste test because first of all, the second plate was hers anyway. So here we go.
Gotta dip it in the sauce. Gotta dip it in the sauce.
Good. Bussin'?
Bussin'.
Period. You are watching Cooking with Bee. Come back next week, same day, same time for a different recipe. Bye.
1, 2, 3.